in here 100%. I'm going into this fight 100% Conor McGregor. Not 92. 100% Conor McGregor. So it has to be really meticulous. We were right there with the last one. As a unit, we do it, right? Let's go, let's go.
With only a few days left in his highly anticipated return bout with Max Holloway, Conor McGregor looks ruthless while training.
Good. Max is my son. I sunned Max when we fought those years ago, and I'm going to do so again.
He's gotten a lot better since you last fought. Would you not agree?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't see much.
Since 2013.
No, I don't see much. I don't see much difference now.
Meanwhile, Conor expressed excitement about his long-awaited return to the UFC after 5 years away from competition. He acknowledged his status as one of the best MMA fighters in the world and the first fighter in UFC history to hold titles in 2 weight classes simultaneously, stating that he was ready to get back in the octagon and that fighting was his true passion. He made it clear that the upcoming bout against Max Holloway was the beginning of his comeback and emphasized that he was born for this based on his true dedication and hard work.
Now it's your big return to the UFC. Conor, what's happening?
Ready to rock, my man. 5 years out of the game, and I'm back. I'm excited to get back. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. You know, you have to be calm, you have to be composed, you have to trust your training and your discipline. It's where, you know, there's no hiding in the octagon. If you've maybe missed a training session or skipped a meal or, you know, ate something you shouldn't have or, you know, lived a life of not of discipline,
yeah,
it's going to show in there.
You'll get caught.
So if you put in the work and you make that walk, you just trust your work, trust your discipline, trust what you've done, and hope it all turns out well.
Furthermore, in an interview with Ariel Helwani, Conor discussed his motivation for returning to the octagon, explaining that he was driven by the joy and thrill of competition rather than financial gain. He described himself as calm, composed, and fully committed to the upcoming bout, and reflected on his opponent, Max, acknowledging their history, but confidently stating that he was ready to dominate the fight. He made it clear that he was excited to put on a show for the fans, as he once took down Holloway and is ready to do the same once again.
You know, I am calm. I'm in a calm state of mind. Zen, if you will. And I'm composed. And I'm committed to this bout and to my career. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now.
Why are you committed? Why are you even coming back? What's the point?
Oh my
What's
God.
the motivation?
For the fun of it, for the joy, for the thrill, for the competition. And I haven't been, I yearn for this, Ariel. I yearn for competition. So, you know, many times we've been speaking here like this and had nothing on the horizon or uncertainty. Now we have a date, an opponent. It's very invigorating. Nah, look, Max is all right. Max is good. Max is my son. I sunned Max when we fought those years ago, and I'm going to do so again.
In an effort to prove his words, recent footage of Conor McGregor showed him looking sharper and more dangerous than ever ahead of his return. The clips captured him interacting warmly with fans while also displaying intense training sessions where he appeared toned, explosive, and fully locked in. His movement looked crisp, his timing appeared sharp, and his strikes carried serious power. Given his history of devastating knockouts, the sight of him looking this prepared sent a clear warning to his opponents that the Irish legend is in peak physical condition and mentally ready for the challenge ahead.
Come on, me rest day today, no, yeah.
On the other hand, not underestimating his opponent, Max Holloway acknowledged that many people were doubting Conor due to his long absence from the octagon, but insisted that it would be unwise to overlook him. Max emphasized that McGregor remained a dangerous opponent, regardless of the layoff, and that he was preparing for a tough fight, rejecting the idea that the matchup would be easy, stating that anyone who thought otherwise was being naive.
But next, first things first is Conor, doggy. Dude stayed dangerous, bro. A lot of people getting shit on him, which is ridiculous. I feel like I could take 5 years off, come back and fight somebody. Easy work.
Disclosing the ongoing preparations, Max revealed that he had brought Jack Della Maddalena into his training camp to help him prepare for this rematch. He explained that working with JDM would allow him to get a feel for the welterweight division and become more accustomed to the specific threats McGregor posed. Holloway noted that having a former welterweight champion in his camp would give him valuable experience before stepping into the octagon. He also mentioned that JDM's southpaw striking style and power would be ideal preparation for McGregor's dangerous left hand.
Yeah, JDM is in town.
And still,
JDM is in town with your boy.
bad things. It's a lot of bad
Called
things.
one of the big guns out for the help. I feel good. I feel great. As you guys can see, we got special guests. We got Jack down here, Jack Della with us. You know, fucking former champion and animal at 170. So I'm excited to have him in camp. 1 on 3, 1 on 3. 1, 2, check. Wait. Thanks, boys. Thank you.
Meanwhile, expressing his views on this bout, Dana White acknowledged that Conor McGregor's 5-year layoff was a concern, as fighters need regular activity to stay sharp. He believed, however, that if anyone could make a successful comeback, it was McGregor, given his talent and ability to rise to the occasion. White also praised Max Holloway as a durable and accomplished opponent who would test McGregor. He emphasized that the matchup was dangerous for both men and that fans should not count either fighter out. White made it clear that McGregor's skills and Holloway's grit made the fight compelling.
How do you think Conor's going to come back in his fight versus Holloway?
Here's what I can say. I've never seen a situation where coming back from such a long layoff is a good thing. Layoffs in this business are, you got to stay active. You got to keep, stay busy. But again, you're talking about a guy like Conor who has that knockout power. And Max Holloway's, one of the greatest ever. Do it.
Unlike Dana, Joe Rogan appeared more enthusiastic, expressing excitement about McGregor's return, predicting that the fight would be a massive event that fans would go crazy for, given McGregor's status as a giant personality in the sport. He acknowledged, however, that McGregor had been out of action for about 5 years and would likely face some ring rust. Rogan made it clear that while the return would generate huge interest, expectations should be tempered due to the long layoff, but also noted that McGregor's personality alone would drive the hype around the bout.
It has to, this Conor McGregor fight in July is going to be bananas. It's going to be bananas. I mean, people are going to go crazy for the return of Conor McGregor because he's a giant personality.
But don't expect the same thing.
How could
you
it
just
be?
can't.
He hasn't fought in 5 years,
That's
right?
exactly it.
It's been 5 years.
But that's the problem.
It might be more.
Because
When
they're
was the
going
last
to
time
all
Conor-
expect that.
I think it is a little over 5. It's almost 6, I think.
It might be 6 at the time of the fight.
It might be.
I think it was
it's
July.
5. I think it's 5 right now.
Adding on, Rogan pointed out that Max Holloway had remained in constant high-level competition throughout McGregor's absence, which could give him a significant edge in the fight. He noted that Holloway had won the BMF title and beaten top opponents like Dustin Poirier during that time. And another crucial factor was that Holloway would not have to cut weight at 170 pounds and would be in insane shape for the fight. Based on these, Joe made it clear that Holloway's activity and physical condition would be major factors in the matchup.
Well, the thing is about Max Holloway is Max Holloway
he's young.
that much younger than
No,
Conor.
he's not.
But the thing is, Max has been in constant high-level competition the entire time. Won the BMF fight, beat Dustin, constant high-level competition.
That's right.
It's a different thing.
And I honestly believe him at 155 is the best thing for him.
Absolutely.
But he's not 155 in this fight.
This
It's
is 170.
170.
But honestly, he
But that's
may
even
be,
better.
he might be
No
better.
weight cutting at all.
Just no weight cut, just kind of walk around.
And also, knowing this is such a high-profile fight, Max is always in insane shape. But particularly in this fight, he's going to be in insane shape.
Sharing his prediction, Brian Ortega and Michael Bisping picked Max Holloway to win the rematch against Conor, stating that they believed Holloway would come out on top. Brian acknowledged, however, that McGregor still had the tools to be dangerous early in the fight. Both analysts made it clear that while he favored Holloway, he was not completely counting McGregor out, and still thought that the Irish fighter could have a comeback that would leave fans stunned.
Who wins, Conor McGregor or Max Holloway at UFC 329, July 11th?
Holloway.
Really?
Yeah.
No chance for...
No, I'm not saying no chance, but you just said who wins.
There's not even a little bit of a chance?
It's going to be dangerous for Max early, though.
Really?
Yeah. Of course. Conor's always been a big hitter.
Conor still has it.
Raising similar points as Michael and Brian, Sean O'Malley's coach, Tim Welsh, broke down the matchup, noting that McGregor had been out of action for half a decade and was moving up to 170 pounds. He pointed out that Holloway was an expert at fighting 5 rounds and would have a strong chin at the higher weight, and even suggested that if the fight was 3 rounds, McGregor would have a better chance. But over 5 rounds, Holloway's experience and activity would likely be the deciding factor. He predicted Holloway would win, though he did not see a knockout happening in the fight.
Realistically, Holloway, McGregor. Oh, dude, And don't pick with emotion. I'm talking MMA math.
Dude, 170 pounds. You haven't fought in half a decade. If the fight was 3 rounds, I would think, God, Conor's got a good chance. I mean, he may still have a good chance, but you're half a decade sitting out, and then you're going in there, Max Holloway, who's an expert at fighting 5 rounds, and he's 170 pounds. You're not going to knock him out easy. His chin at 170 compared to 145 is going to be completely different. If I had to bet, Max.
Yeah, like hard to say. To win or by knockout?
Decision.
Really? You don't see a knockout happening in this fight?
I don't see Max knocking him out.
Both of them are going to be hydrated, no cutting weight. Either of them are probably going to be cutting much weight.
Moreover, Sean reflected on Conor's recent comments about moving past his materialistic lifestyle, though he admitted he was unsure if he fully believed it. He suggested that if McGregor knocked out Max Holloway, that mindset might quickly change, as though people go through phases in life. McGregor appears to be in a good mental space. He acknowledged that McGregor had not won a fight in 5 years, but seemed calm and focused. Sean made it clear that a big win could reignite McGregor's intensity.
If he knocks out Max, I'm off.
Then the materialistic life is coming right back.
The thing is, people in the media, they get on podcast, they say something about how they're living their life right now. Bro, the life is just ebbs and flows. You go through phases of life where there's people that are super religious, and then they go hit rock bottom, and they come back, and it's just like this flow. I think he's in a really good mind space right now. It seems like he's in a really good spot. But he hasn't won a fight in 5 years. It's calm. If he goes out there and knocks out Max Holloway, the Mac is bad. Yeah. And he's losing his fucking mind. In a great way, in a good way.
While sharing his take, Dustin Poirier expressed concern about McGregor's gas tank and wrestling at 170 pounds, noting that McGregor was not a natural wrestler and would likely tire quickly if he attempted to grapple. He pointed out that wrestling was the most cardio-taxing aspect of MMA, and McGregor had never grinded out a 5-round fight with takedowns and control. Dustin also noted that Max Holloway had rarely been controlled by strong wrestlers, and Charles Oliveira's success against him came from jiu-jitsu, not traditional wrestling. He suggested that McGregor would not be able to replicate that approach and would struggle as the fight went on.
Nah,
Conor's not that kind of wrestler.
Yeah, he's not.
And he doesn't have the gas tank to, if he does wrestle and doesn't get a takedown or has to scramble, those later rounds, he's going to be gassed, bro. Yeah. Especially at 170, he's going to be heavier. I don't know. I don't think it's good. Max is a volume cardio guy with power now, so I think it's just trouble.
Furthermore, Dustin also noted that McGregor had struggled with cardio in previous fights, and that the 5-year layoff would only make it worse, and pointed out that Holloway's relentless volume and pressure would make McGregor uncomfortable and expose his conditioning issues. He emphasized that no amount of strength and conditioning could replicate the discomfort of being in the octagon after such a long absence. Poirier made it clear that Holloway's ability to keep a high pace would be the key to victory. He concluded that McGregor would need an early finish to have any chance.
Sounds about right.
I'm gonna give it more on that. I think 2.5. Half
with Max.
2.5. It's a 5-round fight. 2.5. Halfway point, I think it starts going downhill.
I think I'm gonna call it with Buddy right here.
1.5.
Yeah.
If he doesn't finish Max within 1.5 rounds, there's no chance of Conor winning that fight.
Moving on, Conor also confirmed that he has a list of fighters he wants to face upon his return, though he emphasized that his primary goal was simply to remain active and compete regularly. He made it clear that he was open to taking on any challenger, stating that he wanted everything and was not afraid of any opponent. McGregor then dismissed the idea that any fighter in the division was on his level, insisting that he would prove his superiority in the octagon, rather than through words. He made it clear that his focus was on showing what he could do, rather than talking about it. In the recent interview with Paramount, Conor stated, "There are a few names for sure. I have just more activity. I wish to just compete. You know what I mean. You want the smoke. I want the smoke. I want all the smoke for sure." So in the end, one side believes that Conor McGregor's return, after 5 years away from the octagon, will reignite the sport in a way that only he can, and that his improved mindset, sharpened skills, and ability to rise to the biggest moments will be enough to overwhelm Max Holloway. The other side argues that McGregor's long layoff, questionable training partners, and history of cardio issues make him a sitting duck against a volume punching machine like Holloway, who has remained active against the sport's elite. What we do know is that McGregor has looked sharp in training clips and appears focused, while Holloway has been preparing with high-level sparring partners and will have no weight cut at 170 pounds. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like and subscribe for more MMA news and analysis.